So I play about 3 games, at least 3 games every morning, and I was able to climb to like plat 3 or 2.
Nice. It's a big
Um,
improvement. Nice job.
and then during drives I went back down to gold, but since I've been playing Freya this season, I went back. I'm currently plat 3, I think.
Okay. Are we looking at Freya today?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So
I
Freya, Echo, we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she's great. She's like like I've always had like a pool of DPS I generally like, and I do like Echo, but Freya's like the first character I feel like I truly like love.
Even more
She's
so than
so much
Echo.
fun. Yeah, probably.
Cool. Cool.
I have like I think I have 18 hours on her so far. So
Nice. 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 That's awesome. Okay. Well, Plat 3, Freya. Obviously, we've talked a little bit about playtime and structure last time, and it sounds like that's going relatively well. Any questions about structure, habits, and so on since we last spoke?
no, I think we're good there.
Okay, sounds good. Any strategy, Freya specific, positioning, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, questions?
Um, I'd say in general, I think I have a general idea of how to play her. It's just certain maps I feel like can be tricky because, to my understanding, you're not really supposed like, you're not out dueling an Ash and stuff. You're kind of like
Yep.
trying to take people by surprise with your
Yep.
hyper movement. But some maps don't allow you to do that, and
Yep.
some flat maps can be hard to like dodge certain dive
Yep.
characters. So.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's tough. Like, I think that there's the way that I look at it, there's like 3 tiers of positioning with Freya, and all 3 are viable. It just depends on the map with which one is most good, right? And I look at, let me kind of actually stream this so it'll be easier to show rather than tell.
That's the thing, though. At least with her, I've never felt like I can't play her. Like, very
Yeah,
rare have I been like, I have to swap.
yeah, she's pretty flexible. Like it's just having mobility is so helpful, right? Like and having consistent mobility helps a great deal. So like I think let's just use a training bot to kind of demonstrate this. Let me get the recording situated here. Okay. So we'll say angle, flank, and hard flank. We'll just kind of use that terminology here. So like the angle is just like, this is my tank, this is the enemy tank, and so on. And I'm just kind of spamming, I'm just putting out pressure on the front line. It doesn't have to necessarily be the tank, if that makes sense. But I'm just taking a soft angle and utilizing my just raw DPS. Now, you don't have the highest DPS, but you do have a lot of burst. So leveraging that is useful. Basically, if you're just shift spamming or whatever the key is on console. So I'm scoping, and so on, and just kind of pummeling it into there. That's one. The second one is you going for a slightly deeper angle, okay? And this one is, you're going to still be kind of popping some shots, right? But I might be weaving in some primary fire and so on. And then there's the hard flank, right? Which is more of I'm going farther, deeper, going for a burst, either through a 2-tap, so like so, or I'm going to be going for, just one and then killing the target through that. So it's just basically either you're spamming your abilities to just put out as much frontline pressure as you possibly can, or you're utilizing a soft angle and kind of holding an ability just in case, or you're going all in deep in the back line. So are you going to cash in all your abilities for damage, or are you going to play for more of quality of uptime, expecting them to push you? Beyond that, we'll just kind of have to look at it on a case-by-case basis, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'd say generally, like, something one small thing that comes up in my games is how, because her ult charge is super fast, so I feel like I should be using it very frequently. But because I've heard you talk about it, it feels like it's like 20% of the time it's just not gonna do anything. So sometimes I feel like I keep it for too long because of that.
Yeah, no, I think what it is knowing what you're looking for, and then if you don't find it, it's okay not to use it. But I think it's making sure that you're really truly looking for every situation that you can. Like wrecking ball slams, right? Winston's bubble just broke. Okay, yes, they're far away, but the honest scoped in, kind of a thing, right? Like finding those windows. As I've gotten better at Freya, the more situations I've realized that I should be just sitting on my ultimate because there has been an opportunity. But there also have been more situations where I was like, okay, I felt like a week ago I didn't know what to do with my ultimate. Now I know that I can use it in this situation here, if that makes sense. But it is difficult.
Especially the casting time. The casting time can...
It really is, yeah. It's the worst. I'm giving some feedback on that. I'm hoping that they allow you to use your dash while you cast it. So if I could do this in the dash, that would be really nice. But as of now, no. So, okay. Any other questions here? So we'll talk about the positional stuff once we get in the VOD. Anything else?
No, I think we're good here.
Okay. Let's take a look here.
The VOD I have, so honestly, a lot of my games, I feel like I've either won really well or like lost really hard. I don't feel like there has been many games where I felt it was just like a good 50-50 where I'm like, oh, I feel a little iffy about it, but I don't know certain games where I either perform really bad or really good. Like there's not a great in between, but the game I have is from yesterday. It's AVD GEN. This was yesterday, so it was my day off, so I got to play a little bit more. But I was on a loss streak. I played 4 games and lost all of them, so I was like, okay, probably not my day. So, might take a little bit of grain of salt, but
yeah,
I think
tough,
this is a
tough
decent
Freya
game
map.
to look at.
Tough Freya map for sure. I think Flashpoint in general is kind of hit or miss for Freya. It's not terrible. Again, you said it. She's flexible-ish, but the verticality here is fine. But it's very flat and very broad. So you might not always find the angle that you want, and if they're running dive, you might have a hard time. So
I don't think it was this game, but it was a different game where I think we still won, but it was still on this map. And the enemy Sojourn was just able to do way more than me, just because I felt like she naturally. I mean, Sojourn, you know, she's obviously amazing, but
yeah. I mean,
was able to do much more than I ever could.
The rule with Freya is similar to Echo, not quite as restrictive, but it's similar to Echo that like you can flank, swing wide, you can spam on main. But if there isn't verticality involved in that process and either the flank or just spamming, there's just going to be a lot of other DPS that are better, right? And I think Sojourn is a good example of that, where like if there's a very broad map, if there's a very wide, like a flat map, Sojourn's just going to dumpster all over you a lot of the time. Because you need your verticality, and the reason you need your verticality is you need that extra angle of approach. You need those better positions, those better sightlines, and crucially, something that is really, really worth highlighting is the splash damage of a missed bolt is a big deal from the high ground, especially with how frequently you can spam them. So like, yeah, it's the stickies. So it's like, it is a lot of damage, right? And it forces people to reposition. It's something that is really underrated about taking those high grounds. It's not something that other heroes really worry about. So, first things first, I don't mind this angle from you right here, but this might be where this is more of a soldier angle and less of a Freya angle. This is how I was positioning initially with Freya, and I've had to move away from this. Let me explain why. I don't think this is bad if this is your only choice. You have a good angle, you have a good flank. Obviously, the element of surprise here. You could probably dump all of your dashes here without getting punished, so a lot of damage here. But it's either hit or miss, and if you get poked out, you don't have the sustain or even the speed to go grab a health pack and come back again.
Right.
So I'm not against hard flanking with Freya, but there needs to be a good reason for it. So
I think after this, like whenever I do Servasa, I usually try and go high ground, but sometimes it can be easy for the enemy team to poke you out of it.
It
so
can.
I'm curious to hear what you would think would be better.
Take the high ground. The question is, when do you take the high ground? If I walk out here now, and I think part of the reason why you flank is you get here, and you see it here that they're already here, right? So you're like, oh, I don't want to get up here and get poked out. Sure. So what you're going to do is you're going to wait till now.
I see.
You see your hog go up. You're going to do the updraft scope tech. You familiar with that?
Yeah, it's a little wonky. You have to like do it right when you jump and aim.
Yes.
And
So it's also for your jump and it's also for your dash. So all 3 verticalities, whether it's just a normal jump, dash, or updraft, you need to scope within the first about half of a second of pressing the button and then unscope afterwards to maintain that, get that extra little bit. I think it's like 40% more height, something like that, 30% more height. So yeah, regardless. So jump, scope, unscope immediately, get the updraft all the way to here. Probably won't need anything else. From here, this is when you just start vomiting damage. And you could see already the value of splash. If you miss all 3 shots in this Brigitte, it doesn't matter. It's going to hurt badly. 1, 2, 3, dump your clip, and we're popping off. You got me? If you have to disengage at any point in time, that's okay, because similarly to Echo, yes, while we would love some primary fire spam and we hate having to give up, it's okay because you're not a AFK and shoot tank hero anyway. If you front load 3 bolts and fail, that's okay. Rinse and repeat, try again. You're not a hit scan, right? You're a character that is a bit cyclical. So let's see what you do from here in terms of the process, because it's going to be the same thing here. Yeah, so this is not enough damage. So when you have an angle that's safe, you must dump everything in. Everything. So this needs to be scope dash scope dash scope dash, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the sight line, you have the angle here. Now, I don't know how easy this is to do in console, but you may have seen me talk about the reverse key dash. Are you familiar with that tech? This character's full text.
So, no.
So I'll demonstrate this one. This one's, I think I may have discovered this one. I'll take credit for it because I haven't seen other people talk about it and I haven't seen it utilized very much. I'm not very good at utilizing it all the time because I forget half the time. But as you know, there's 3 different types of dashes, or really 4 actually. So one of them is just dash, no input, goes up. There's the forward dash, which is dashing here. And then there's the sideways dash, which can go in either direction, right? And these are all fine, but the problem is that if you go like this, it does throw off your aim just a little bit, right? You just have to adjust a wee bit. Well, not as much if you go backwards. So here, it significantly reduces the amount of crosshair movement. If you can kind of see that there, then you would...
fall off, right?
Right, so there's no fall off. So yeah, you move back a few meters. But if you actually look at my crosshair movement, it's very little. Very, very little. And you compare that to W key, you know, that's so disorienting, right? Now, that's not always good. Obviously, using your dash and scoping sometimes is good if you're fighting someone and you want to make them miss their shot and you're moving unpredictably, yeah. But this is not that moment. This is a moment where they're not looking at you at all, right? So it doesn't matter if you're standing still, right?
I think the closest thing I've done to like some kind of tech like that is left to right. Like
yes.
using both cooldowns.
Yes. But this would be one of those moments which will happen frequently where you're going to want to do your reverse key tech or reverse controller tech and just basically force yourself backwards. And you're just going to bam, 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 like 3 times in a row. I did 4 there, but you get the impression. Like, dumping it through here. Because like right now, you're doing the whole bolt, shoot, bolt, shoot, bolt, shoot, you know, and that's fine if you want to save your dashes if you think you're going to get dove. But not only are you moving forward right now, which is really risky, but you're sitting on cooldowns, which could be significantly accelerating your amount of damage output. And that's something that needs to change here. I don't hate this. This is a good little reposition here. And I can kind of tell, like right now, you're hesitant to use the dashes right now, or you're forgetting. And it's really compromising your pressure output. And so you might look at this and be like, oh no, I mispositioned, you know, I screwed up. I actually think this is okay. The angle that you took here, you got a damage boosted icicle in the face, your Roadhog got pinned off. You just need to do more damage. That's it. The initial angle could have been better in terms of like utilizing the high ground here. But honestly, either way, you needed to keep your distance and you needed to use your dashes. That's it.
Okay.
Because I don't hate the initial position. It's probably not the best thing you could have done, but it's definitely not the worst. And this is another one of those moments too. So, you know, you're safe. They don't know you're there. So right here, this needs to be another bolt dash bolt right now. Probably reverse key, because if you do a 0 input, you'll hit your head in the ceiling and lose the May. But if you can do a reverse key bolt here, you'll be able to chain off too. I like the angle though. It's a good angle. This is good too. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. I know you're spooked, and you might need to dash away if she gets another icicle in your face, but you have enough advantages to take at least 1 or 2 shots here until she pokes you out.
Yeah, I remember thinking that when I saw her again. I was like, oh, I do not want more icicles.
Yeah, I understand. But it's, I mean, really all confidence is just basically looking at the battlefield and be like, in an even situation, I should be able to win this or at least stall it out. If I fail again, okay, go next. But like, you can't avoid stuff that's statistically smart. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't not drive a car because, oh no, I might get in a car accident. I mean, yeah, but
I tried telling my mom that.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I mean, maybe some people actually do need to hear that, but yeah. This is fine. You can just spam shots if you'd like to between. Sure, trust the process here. I think you're looking at your Roadhog pushing forward, but like you still have a bit of a vision here. And if you have to drop and maybe take a sight line here, I hate just a general rule for DPS. I hate changing angles. If you want to change this angle to here, or change this angle from here to here, that's fine.
God forbid the enemy team has someone that could retake that high ground from me.
Right. Well, it's not just that though. It's partly that. It's like the opportunity cost, right? Like look at what this costs you. You know, it's like you were on right. You're not sure if there's anybody going on here, and so instead of shallowing or going deeper right, you use 1, 2. And now your position's not even good anymore, right? So just avoid, even with a character with mobility, completely changing your angle to the other side. Unless your angle literally is doing nothing.
I think I was just impatient here.
Could be,
yeah. Something needs to happen.
Could be, yeah.
And I also just didn't want my hog to be alone.
Yeah, I understand. And this is you doing the same thing. You notice that? Now this one, this is disguised as, oh, I'm feeding, right? But that's actually not the problem. Why are you feeding? Why is this feeding?
I'm instead of like keeping the angle, I'm like shooting a Reinhardt who's just with his brig and like pushing up, and I'm not doing anything.
Well, that's not necessarily true. So like, look at what you did here. So you changed your angle. That was stupid. Okay, fine. You're on an angle. We've got some cover here. We got some verticality. It's fine. This pretty useful. It's good damage. You got 2 people looking at you. You're not in any danger of dying. And then you second guess yourself. So this is the same exact mistake that you made here, going to here. You got impatient, you didn't like what you saw, and so you rotated to the other side. And then you got impatient, didn't like what you saw, and rotated to the other side. Every time you did that, you risked death and or risk doing nothing. This one you did nothing. This one you died. You could have stayed here and been fine. You could have stayed here and also been fine. Whatever lane that you choose as Freya, whether that's left or right, you can deepen that lane to here. You can shallow that lane to here. But you cannot swap sides, especially in the middle of a fight. Can't do it. Does that make sense?
Of course, yeah.
And I don't think any character in Overwatch can do that if it makes you feel good. As Tracer doesn't want to do that. Cost Blinks, Sombra can't do it. I think the only character that can pivot angle is, I think, Moira with her fade perk. And that's actually kind of a strategy. You kind of hold here and do the long fade all the way to here. It catches people by surprise, but like you just don't do that, you know? So whether you're on Echo or Freya. But yeah, the Ryan stuff was fine. Like your target priority is really flexible with this character. Because your tank pressures, this fight's lost, whatever. Your tank pressure is fine. Now here's where you need to start thinking again, like what is an angle that complements my strengths? So like, you know, I don't hate this for right now, but there's nothing about this that says, ooh, Freya's good at this.
Right.
Right? If you were Right. So if you were going to take this duel here, like win this duel, this soldier, how would you do it?
I know behind me there's that like little staircase.
Yeah,
this thing.
Playing a little bit more to your range. Sure.
I could try and get like if I'm fast enough, like I'm thinking ahead, I could in theory go above, like behind where that balcony thing is. Yeah.
Like here?
If I thought ahead of time.
You're
but
close.
Even then, there's so many of them that it would probably be way too risky.
Yeah. You're so close. This is the key thing to Freya. Okay, this is the key. If you remember nothing else today, okay, your verticality is how you win duels. Always. Your verticality is how you win duels. So I don't love this angle because it doesn't provide a lot of verticality. I would prefer you at this point in time just kind of chill, sit here and wait, and do the exact same thing that you did either on first fight or, you know, retake from here. Right? That's the play. But if you're going to force this lane, verticality wins you duels. How do you use your verticality here? Be creative. You know this soldier's going to peek you. You know he's going to peek you. So how do you beat him?
I think what I would try and do is stick farther to the right and dash up and just stick towards the wall. I think that's what Echo players try to do. Or Pharah players. That's what I've been told with Pharah. You like try and stick by buildings.
This is how you win the duel.
Yeah, he
This
can't
is how you win the
shoot
duel.
through the arc, but
This
I
is how
can
you win the
see
duel.
right below.
And if he looks up, that is a very, very dangerous thing for him to do. Basically, all you need to know is it scales well for you from here to Grandmaster. It's very difficult. If your mechanics are good, his mechanics are good, you're going to kill him. If your mechanics are bad, you're still going to splash damage him. Very, very difficult for him to push you. And this is basically every time that you don't have map geometry that's providing you verticality for updraft, you must be using updraft to provide a different sightline, to give yourself a cheat from shooting down. Does that make sense? So your mistake here is not necessarily taking this lane, although I would prefer the other side. It's dashing in here where this is just a skill check. It's a 50-50, right? It's a do I hit the first bolt, you know? And we can blame mechanics till the cows come home. But if I put you here, you're going to win this duel.
Right.
You know? And that's something that I've had to learn through a lot of trial and error, is that at any time that I took a duel on the floor and lost, it was really easy to blame mechanics, but that's just a sloppy strategy. Right? Like, that's good, I guess. Congrats, you know, golf clap, right? But you've been sitting on the floor. You've been sitting on the floor.
Just so happened to Discord him when I shot that. He wouldn't. He would have lived otherwise.
I think you're right. Let me see. Yep. Your Zing got you.
Yeah, I was trying to keep Mercy away from the res.
Where's the rotation from here? I mean, we know the answer, right? Your choice.
Yeah, I mean, I likely have to go to point because they're really close to.
Ult's fine. Ult's fine. I mean, all I'd say is just it kind of sucks that you misread the situation and felt like you need to touch. But beyond that, it's fine. Stay on the Mei. Or Soldier. That's fine. Yeah, this is just poor target priority as the fight's devolved. It's really important you don't get sucked in on Rhine. Like, this Mei needs to die, Soldier needs to die. This is where it's like, you know, earlier I was like, Rhine Brig is fine, shooting Rhine, because there was nothing, like the Brig is behind a wall, you know, so shoot the tank. Right now you have anything that you want and you're still shooting shield. So, no dopamine chasers. Okay, any questions so far?
No, I think what we've seen is pretty straightforward.
Sure.
I always feel rough on that first point in general. I don't want to say I hate this map or Flashpoint, but I just feel like I always brain fart on that point.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's doesn't, if you don't utilize that verticality, then it can feel a little bit tricky, and even then it's not always free. I love this map so much.
I did not get lost.
It really ought to be at doors or here. I think the reason they don't do that is because they want people to funnel in towards the spawns so that you don't go from capping one point to immediately setting up for the next, but it does feel a little bit awkward.
I'm pretty sure this point though is my favorite for Freya because you can go behind where the water is on the side of the map. You can dash back and forth.
Yep. Sure.
Oh, that was not necessary, but or maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't care. You know, we've talked about this ult already. Sure. Guaranteed value. He has his armor chipped. It's going to hit him and not his shield 100%. Yeah, sure. Okay. Just gonna kind of zoom through here. So this is another one of those moments, right? Where it's like, do you have verticality to play this guy? It's a good shot. Yeah, you do. So you dash, you updraft, and you take the duel from here. Just a small adjustment.
I actually just found out today that you cannot sit up there. I never knew that.
Yeah, you'll slide. Yeah, you'll slide.
But it's obviously still cover at the end of the day.
Yeah. The only problem with using your updraft is, like Echo, you'll have to be kind of thoughtful about, like, do I have any sort of vertical cover? Is it worth it going up and compromising my cover? But it's a tricky nuance for sure, but it's a general rule to look for. If you can't use map geometry for verticality, use your updraft. For every duel that you can. I mean, even here. Updraft. Hug here. Just start spamming through that choke. Gives you a good nice angle, gives you good vision. You can kind of hold that position for 2 or 3, 4 seconds. Because you see, it's like, it's just, oh, your vision's so much worse. We kind of did
on top of that other thing.
Yeah, we kind of did the thing as well. So the thing is, remember the lane. What lane are you right now?
Left.
Left, so you have to stay left. You have to stay left. Not that there's no exception to that rule, but you have to understand, like, there has to be a really good reason for you to reposition. So from here, just updraft and just keep poking, or take the duel with the Zen. You know, like, he's coming after you, so then take the duel from here. Hold the angle here. Because I mean, look at the pressure opportunities here now, right?
Yeah.
It's because your team has kind of all migrated, right? So it would have been fine if you were here earlier, because you could have done all sorts of stuff here, but you weren't. So it's like you're dodging opportunities to damage by repositioning.
I think it's because I get initially impatient. Like,
Yes, and then ironically, right as that angle opens up, you close it by moving to a different angle that is now closed. And then obviously it's like a lot of bad things happen as a result of that pivoting. I think the other thing too is just like you had a plan for that lane. Right, when you were set up, you had thought there, you're covered, and then when you go to the other lane to where you just died, you didn't really know what the end goal was there. You didn't know where to set up, you didn't know your rotations, you're not as familiar with that architecture, right? So if you're going to plan around playing right, then you need to set up and think about before the fight starts. Like pulling an audible is really risky. Okay. It's fine, just chilling. Same thing here. So if you're going to contest this stuff here, from this lane here, how do you use verticality?
Well, there is the top right. It can be tough though because they're all like right there hovering
So
next to it.
Right. So if that had been your goal, then you should have rotated here, updraft, apply pressure from here. But you didn't, so you're stuck here. So find me verticality on left. Remember, if the architecture doesn't give you verticality, what's the cheat answer? When in doubt, what do you do?
Use the arcs.
Yep.
Like the doorways and stuff.
Or anything, right? Even like here's what you can do here: dash here, updraft, and spam from here.
Okay.
This is all. This is good enough. This is all we need. This is all we need right here. This is perfect. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, and then we go from here, and then where do you go from here? Let's actually see what you do. Okay, so we're in the same thing here. You know. Poke, poke, poke. I mean, this is it, right? This is fine. You see it, right? Like, you see how even a missed shot here holds value. So the only mistake was that you took the verticality and then didn't bolt. You spammed your primary fire.
Yeah.
Which means that you fall faster, obviously, but it also means that you don't put out as much damage as you could have. Like, look at this 1-2 bolt on Brig. Very good. Even May. Very good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Just toss it. Yep, good stuff. It's a very good ult.
Oh yeah, the Juno was actually huge for us here.
I will say as well that when things start to get pretty pressured, we do tend to forget our bolt spam. So like right now, just you're spamming primary fire, but just spam primary fire and just spam your dashes into bolt. Bolt, 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 bolt. Even vertical, even do your updraft and then dash again and then bolt again, right? Just, it is higher DPS as long as you have a bolt, is basically the way to look at it. It's also splash as well, which is nice. But yeah, nice ult. Your ults have been really good so far. I like that you're just
on
taking...
a slightly
Go ahead.
unrelated note, just slightly unrelated note.
No,
for perks, I usually take the see-through walls one, and then I take the additional dash when you updraft. Is that
So,
like the general consensus? Or
There's been a bit of a mixed consensus, but I think I'm right, and I think you're right.
that's fair, yeah.
I know some people have like frostbolts, the slowest nice. I find that true, but very niche. Because it's only specifically useful versus a couple of tanks where you're going to just basically spam the slow on them. Wrecking Ball, sometimes Roadhog, sometimes. But even then, it often means that like it can pull your attention onto the wrong targets. Sync through walls is just unbelievably broken. It's 50% lower HP, so it's like It happens like every single fight, multiple times, right?
It's only you can see it too, right?
Yes, but you can ping them through walls. So
yeah, I've done that. I just wanted to clarify. When I ping, that's like...
Yeah, they could see where... they will see where the person is at. They won't see their outline, but they'll see where the person is at. I don't know. I find it incredibly useful basically every single fight. I win so many duels off of it every single game. The updraft one is almost inarguable. Basically, it's like if you find value versus certain tanks spamming the tank, maybe the other two perks are okay, especially the slow. But I don't think it's the case. I think it's way too valuable. And for life hack here, people were saying that, oh, like in pros, the slow is too good. Well, I've watched pro Frejas, and the two of the best Frejas that I've watched, Aid and who else? Merit, both run the same perks you do. And this is in professional level, like organized environment, right? So it's just too good for scouting. It's just so good. So
there have definitely been scenarios where I wish I had the ammo refund, but for the most part, the dash is just comes up.
It's so good. And the thing is, the dash is also offensive value too. Like it's another bolt. So it's like, yeah, maybe you get some ammo refund, but I like another bolt, please. Thank you. That may change with time as our understanding of different things come out, but as of right now, I think bolts and your ability to scout and win 1v1s is too valuable. You know, this is another one of those moments, right? Bop, bop, take it from here. Just a small adjustment, but really important. Even here, right? Bop, bop, use your bolts from there. Don't forget your bolt spam.
I've actually never done bolt spam. If you watch every single game I've played, you'll see I've never really like bolt spammed.
I don't know how comfortable it is with console. That might be something to consider. It may just be something.
I've never thought about it. I feel like I just always thought, oh, the spam primary fire is here for a reason. So I feel like I just never thought to just spam the actual.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you don't need your dashes, use it, right? If you do need your dashes, then yeah, be smart with it.
Oh, I tried to get up and I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was a controller thing. Like my joystick was slightly too far to the right for it to do the up instead of the dash.
Let's find out.
Did I go up?
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of looked like a directional input dash there. Yeah, I'm not honestly sure. You might have hit your head in the way wall. I honestly don't know. But you did this correctly. You even did your little scope to get the extra bit of verticality. I mean, look at this. If you bolt spam this, they're cooked. Yeah. Thank you. That's like, this is the most Freja thing you've done in this entire Freja game. Right? You took the verticality, you used the scope tech to get higher. You didn't bolt spam, but you did at least use 2 bolts. 3 bolts, and then you got the kill. Like, that's good. There it is. Nice. There wasn't really any verticality that you could play here, like coming out of the arch. Now, if I wanted to be picky, I could have said, oh, you can dash out this way, and it's just kind of unnecessary. But yeah, that's fine. Good stuff. We can just snipe for here.
Yeah,
but obviously it's
still coming back.
Mm-hmm. That's where bolt spam becomes even more important, by the way, in these ranges, because there's really 0 chance of a bolt primary fire killing anybody, because the time to kill is too long. So you kind of have to burst, otherwise they won't die. So at these ranges, the double bolt's even more important, because it's the only thing that's going to catch somebody off guard. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like Widow gets picks before the fight starts kind of a thing. Like Freya does have that threat, but only if she's using double bolt. I'm trying to think here. It's tricky. I mean, you saw an opportunity. You just a little bit overpeaked after he got healed, and then you're just basically doing this before your tank gets here. But you knew that. You just saw an opportunity, went for it, and died for it. That's fine. Yep. Gotta take the angle. Might be too late. So this is another one of those moments where like you got to really think outside the box. You do not have the advantage in this duel in no way, shape, or form. The only way that you can win this duel is, ready for it? Updraft.
Yeah.
And take it from here. There's nothing else to use updraft for. You notice that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm already on the ledge.
You're already on the ledge, right? So there's nothing else for you to do. You even get a free dash. So you updraft, bolt, dash, bolt, you know, and then you can just, she forces ice block, and that's really good for you because you can pre-bolt the ice block and get an extra 40, 50 damage, and then she's kind of screwed, right? This is a duel that's actually okay if you use your verticality. Right now, though, you're just cooked. Was this fight lost either way? Probably, yes, but again, it's verticality. So definitely a little bit of beating the dead horse here, but you understand exactly why this is important.
Yeah, I do.
You have to create an advantage in the duel. You can't rely off of mechanics alone. Because your character is not balanced for you to not use verticality. You're just a worse duelist. Now, you might be overtuned right now, but the character is intended to do things this way. And so if you don't play by the rules, then you're not going to do very well. So for example, right now you've got two choices. One of those choices is to stay where you're at and utilize your verticality. How would you do that?
I'll go right on that arc. Right,
Yep,
like,
right here. Yeah. Like even just hug the lattice work, whatever, and hug spam from here. Down, down, down. What's your other option? Your more angle-pilled option?
It's just go to the left. But
Yep.
that smaller pillar. Oh
Yep.
yeah, back here's
just back here, right? Yeah. It's not exactly verticality pilled because there isn't, but at least it's a good angle, right? You could verticality pill here. Actually, this might be the best option here. Honestly, this is probably your best option.
Because way back there feels like more like that's like an Ashe angle for sure.
Yes,
like
yes.
Ashe would sit there all day, be happy about it.
We talked about Ashe earlier, like your matchup versus Ashe. What makes Freya, like how would you contest an Ashe? Like let's say they were on Ashe here. Like what would you do? Would you still play this angle? Initially, when I was first playing Freya for like the first 10, 15 hours, I would have said no. In hindsight, I think the answer is yes, but you have to utilize an angle like this. So if I am contesting an Ashe, if it's from this, I will lose. If it's from this, even sometimes I will lose. But if it's from this, there's a good chance I have an advantage. It's just easier. It's just easier to hit the bolts. It's easier to get splashed. It's also unpredictable as well, so they're not always knowing exactly where you are scoped. Like, that's the key thing. It's the same reason why Widow does grapple shots, right? It's for this kind of stuff. It's Peeker's advantage, right? So basically, Freya should always have Peeker's advantage versus any sniper without exception. And if you're not abusing that, you're losing. I mean, I'm glad to see you take the angle. Don't worry about it. Focus on the brig. Interesting. Okay. Just put a bolt on her. You could pre-bolt that. You don't have to even get the timing perfectly. It's pretty forgiving. You just drop a bolt in her ice block. Sometimes I'll drop like 3 bolts. You just go bam, bam, bam. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
They won't. She won't take the full damage.
There's so many times where on Echo I'll sticky the ice block slightly too soon.
Freya versus Echo stickies completely different. It's way, this might change if they nerf her dash cooldown, which they almost certainly will. But it's basically like it's not even a real resource really. You have it just constantly. I'm not saying that you should just waste them completely, but you can be a lot more frivolous with them.
Yeah, I noticed, like, I have played a decent amount of Tracer, and I feel like they come back way faster than Tracer's Blinks do. I know Tracer's 3 of them, but...
Yeah, you have them, a lot of them. So this is a situation where you're playing the full flank mode. You probably... Yeah, you're going to need to save your dashes here, for sure.
Yeah, I think I try and be wary that he might go behind us.
So if you know Mei is here,
I should
how to take this duel?
Dash up that doorway.
Dash up here, bolt down. 1, 2, and then take the duel from there. Sure. I mean, honestly, it wasn't trash. I saw the vision. But yeah, you just didn't get enough of an advantage in the duel, and so you had to run away, which means the Mei gets the angle for free, and you're panicked. So. Hey, you got the timing right.
Oh,
Just yeah,
every
love
time
that
I see
perk.
the freeze,
Love that perk.
I literally saw one of my tanks die to it
I
through
I
a wall. It
I
was
I,
sad.
I don't like the couple of perks they put in. I'm trying to think what was the other one. Oh, the Roadhog vape resource when his trap goes off. I was like, what are they thinking? Like what on it is the have you seen Roadhog post that buff when they have it? Infinite heal
I haven't.
resource. And it lasts
Oh, that's
forever, by
probably
the way.
why I see so many hogs now. This
Yes.
day,
It's a
I had like 3 hogs in a row.
I think it's in the top 5 or 6 strongest minor perks in the game because it's half of his resource more, and it never expires. So if one trap goes off, he's got it.
You know,
It's
I remember
it's
seeing that
insane.
and hearing you talk about it. It's like
So
oh, man,
disappointing.
shit.
So disappointing, man. So disappointing. It is, but. Again, this is just you kind of taking the angle. But as soon as you get your updraft here, you're definitely going to do this kind of a thing here, right? Sometimes you don't do anything uniquely Freya because there isn't anything uniquely Freya to do. But as soon as there is that opportunity, you're going to do that. Like right now, there's nothing really that you can do, right? There's no verticality, so just take the angle, spam. I will say the bolt spam is a big deal here. You're not likely to be pushed here, so you need to be bolt spamming for that soldier, right? But as this fight evolves, you probably would be rewarded to migrate here and then take the duel from here instead. And in fact, if you use your updraft and a inputless dash, not to be overly tech heavy, you will get this. So that makes it even better, right? Now, it's obviously really hard to think of that in a moment. And I do like the fact that you're taking an angle, but because you're not bolt spamming and because you're not taking verticality when you use it, the value is only the angle, but nothing that's uniquely Freya, if that makes sense. It's like, it really would be like taking an angle like this with Pharah. It's kind of the way to look at it. You know, and not using your concussive blast, for example. Just kind of shooting. It's like you have these tools in your kit for a reason. So you have to find a way to, and like, right, for example, here, it's like, yeah, that's not necessarily an aim issue, right? You guys are equally skilled. What is going on with this?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not a mechanics issue. Your mechanics don't suck. Your mechanics have been actually fine so far, so. Yeah, that's basically all there is to it. We can look at another code if you'd like. It's up to you. We got plenty of time.
Yeah. I have 4 from today. I have a Gibraltar game, and
Ooh, spicy.
no, I can't play it. I played it this morning, and the enemy tank left within less than a minute of the match starting, but the match didn't get canceled, and the last person on their team wouldn't leave, so I just sat there.
That's annoying.
I think a good one. Actually, yeah, the Blizzard World one. Let me share this one. See if we have a code. It is GCHRTT.
All right. First point is a little tough here. You're pretty good at points, but actually I think the second point might be harder now that I think about it. You're not a true sniper, so it just feels kind of awkward.
I do like third point a lot.
Yeah.
At least on attack. Oh yeah, my Doom died immediately, so it was a little sketch pursuing. He immediately swapped luckily. I tried to ban a Hog for him, but, you know. I know we haven't touched much on bans, but I usually try and go for a Diva if I can. Both Echo and Freya, you know, can get fricked on by her pretty hard.
Yeah, agreed.
So, other than that, depending how flat the map is, you know, go for
I would say Diva is probably always fairly decent. And then map situational, really, like you said. So I think really dive and hit scan, right? So Genji can be tricky, Tracer, Sombra, Widow, Ashe, Cassidy, really depending on the map. Like, for example, here, if I was being really strategic, I would say probably ban Diva, probably ban Widow, consider banning Sombra, Tracer. Just because of how broad and flat the map is. Genji might be tricky, but there should be plenty of space for you to deal with him. And you can match his verticality, no problem. Ash might be hard as well, but at least he's not going to one-shot you from across the map. It's the extremes, right? Like Freya's that she's a little bit like the Hazard, right? Where she can deal with the mid-in-betweens, but it's just as long as there's no extremes. But if this was the previous map, then I wouldn't bother banning Widow, obviously, in Suravasa. But I would definitely make sure that Diva or something like that's banned, and you can't have both Sombra and Tracer. One of those would need to be banned, almost certainly. And Genji as well would all of a sudden become a threat.
I will say Sombra has been banned in like 90% of the games.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to use the verticality to take the angle. So this is just using the verticality to take a better angle. So that's great. And then now we just shoot.
Yeah, those Mercy should be dead, but...
I mean, happens.
Our Genji did kind of... I feel like he put a lot of work in this game. But...
Yeah, I mean, your angles are still good, though, so... What I'm noticing is that when there's an obvious verticality, you're finding it, right? Like, you're, oh, yeah, I can do that. It's when there's not an obvious verticality that you don't know what to do. You don't think about just jump shotting, essentially.
Pharah was the first character I picked up. She's like still one of my most played characters.
Sure.
Do you think I would kind of have that grasped a little bit? But...
It's not as intuitive, honestly. Like, she doesn't look as obviously like a flyer. She feels more sniper, but she's not, right? So if you watch even like how the pro players play her, she's basically like up every time that they can. Every single time they can, they go up. So like even here, right? Updraft and then take the angle from me. Now, I don't like you dashing forward here. You could just basically AFK here, but this is, you can kind of see what I'm talking about, right? Like where like this, I mean, even object permanents, sometimes they just straight up don't even see you, which is great. So this is a little too aggressive, but you got the right idea. So if you're being stuffed in this choke here, I want you to figure it out for me. Where should you go? This is the Freya challenge right here.
I could go back left towards that upper area, just like play out of the Sigma's range, or I could go flank mode and just go completely left. Just like
you could. This right here, you're cooking. If you go even further and sneak around here, you're also cooking. This is where you could take a traditional angle, maybe with a hit scan, like a Cassidy or a Tracer. Not really with Freya. It's not impossible. It's just not good.
I'm kind of surprised I didn't go for that, because the only person who could go after me is the other Freya.
The problem is that it's just a compressed area. You see this? And it doesn't utilize your verticality. Yeah. So you're like, oh yeah, well, nobody can punish me here. What about Nade? What about the enemy Freya spamming in here? What about the Sigma spamming in here? What about the Torbjorn walking in the room and murdering you? Like, if there's no verticality, you are not a great duelist. Right? Now, that may or may not be the case because she's overtuned. I know someone in the comments will be like, doesn't matter. The way the character is going to be balanced and designed for you moving forward, you don't want to go into those rooms if you can avoid them. So you have to utilize your verticality. So, like, while this is... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm kind of surprised I didn't go left. Like, I feel like that would have been a pretty decent opportunity.
Maybe, but it's also probably not an angle that you would take with any other character outside of maybe Pharah. Like, honestly, even Echo, this was a little too far, right? Like, the difference between you and Echo is more of the range on the verticality. So, and the other tricky thing about Freya is you kind of seen is like, obviously your wrist is. Yeah, wrist is AFK. This is better, like, because you have the verticality, you can help your team break the choke and then go from there. You definitely need to be bolt spamming, though. So basically, again, when you have the more conservative angle, even the more aggressive angles, a lot of times, just bolt, 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 bolt. Not necessarily on a shield, but as soon as you get, like, right here, perfect opportunity to bolt spam. 2 bolts kills the turret, 2 bolts kills the Freya. I know, I can smell it. You were thinking about it. Yeah. It's obviously like probably just better to kind of do what you're doing, but along this lane here instead, a little bit safer. And good discipline to not. I mean, I was like, I probably would have pressed Q there, honestly. I would have used the ultimate there, but I respect you not using it.
Yeah, I saw they were all like below half.
Yeah,
so it's already charging out.
It's a little all or nothing here. If you're gonna do this, this is definitely where you'd want to updraft and kind of slide here. Otherwise, you just don't have cover. I know these are. I mean, how many times have I ever said? I didn't even know this was here, right?
Right.
But this is what Freya does, right? So it's either that or you utilize kind of hide here, and then what would you do from here? I'll let you go from here.
Well, I could like updraft from where this grass is and play a little by the sign there, or I could go closer to the sign. Although once I get down, I could potentially be in danger.
I mean, just here. Use the roofs, right? Use the gate. Use the roofs. Pop your ult from here. Go from here. It's fine. Like let's be honest here. Like this is an all or nothing angle that you've chosen here. So same thing here. Might as well. You could also just AFK, hold the angle, and snipe here too. If you're with some bolt spam, wouldn't be terrible. The thing that makes Freya hard is there's always like 4 different options. Like more so than I think almost any other character. Like I think Tracer is underrated in terms of how actually compressed that she is. There generally aren't that many good angles for Tracer. It's just about getting onto the right one. Sojourn's fairly flexible. I really think Freya might be the most flexible angle character in the game. So, like, that's kind of a curse, honestly. Because nice shot. Because it really makes the game a lot harder. Because you were expected to find this angles, right? So,
There she goes.
I mean, you see it, right? Do you see this? Like, this is what we've been asking for. I don't know if it was on accident or what, but like she's cooked.
This poor Freya, by the way, this is the second time that she was with a Mercy, and the Mercy immediately left her and lost the 1v1.
I mean,
Actually, I might have died.
It's okay. That's fine.
She chased me.
I mean, it was relatively good value. You guys could still win this. Yeah. I mean, you had the angle. You just missed the shots. She should have died. That's all. Bolt spam. Oh, that's a bolt spam right there. You need that. Sure. Okay. Okay. Are there... What I'm going to do is we're going to keep playing here. If I see anything unique, we'll pause. If you have any questions, we'll pause. But mostly I'm just going to focus on you brainstorming what's the angle you could have taken. Let you flex...
Like top part.
Yeah. Let you flex a little bit here in terms of figuring out where to go. So this one's obvious, right? Take the high ground. Easy peasy. I won't say bolt spam anymore either. Good. It's the ultimate. It's the ultimate. You notice that? Don't force it. This is kind of what we talked about earlier. You have the ultimate, you want to use the ultimate. I get it. But position first, then ultimate, right? So go here. Wait it out. The opportunity will present itself. Wait for it. Trust it. Because I never see you behave like this outside of this and the second point attack early because you had ultimate. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the impression I'm getting. Okay. All right. Let's say that your Genji is not dead. Where do you take your next angle from here?
I could go straight to that other spot, or I could stay on the other balcony here.
Give me another one. Give me a third one. One that uses verticality, but maybe not standing on feet on the floor.
Walk to the right, potentially.
Then what?
Either dash and use that cover on the left, generally to block anything.
I mean, here's your updraft, right? Like this is your opportunity, right? Your ability to take this duel right here. If this Freya isn't here, this Torbjorn is dead. This is kind of what we're looking for. Good stuff. Yep. Those are one of those niche situations, by the way, where if you don't double bolt that, just ult it instead.
Yeah, I saw she was scoped in.
Yeah. Because you end up getting it, but it's a little bit lucky. Also, same rule applies in the duels, not just in terms of setting up static angles. Right here, updraft. Do not give her peekers advantage. Verticality wins. It's just like far duels. Oh. What is she doing? Fine. Yep.
If I remember correctly, Freya's reload, with her having 2 different magazines, it's not like Baptiste's where when you reload you get both back, right? You have to reload both one at a time, or...
So when you're shooting, no, the bolt automatically reloads.
Mm-hmm.
The bolt automatically reloads when you're shooting primary fire or reloading your weapon. The only time it's a forced reload is if you bolt once and then try to bolt again. It will reload. But generally, you're only going to get in the bolt reload animation if you're not using primary fire or not dashing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, your bolts will reload automatically if you're using primary fire or whatever. Like, for example, right now, if you wanted to bolt again, you would be in a reload animation, right? Mm-hmm. If you dashed, you would not. If you shot primary fire, you would not be in a reload animation. Does that make sense? So if we slow this down here, you're probably going to primary fire spam, knowing you, and look at the bottom right. Now it's reloaded.
Yep.
Like the updraft there. That was huge. More traditional flank. 2 bolts spam that. 2 bolts will get it. Nice bolt. Just get out of here, maybe. And it's another one of those situations where if you're going to repeat this, go up, do it from up, right? Okay. We've kind of beaten the dead horse here. Let's swap the defense before we wrap this up, give you more positional choice opportunities. Any questions so far?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, this isn't terrible. Try it from here instead. So if your team's on the left, you go right here. Just opens up your angle a little bit. You're not going to have infinite flight if you're shooting. That's fine. So like right now, just updraft up. Just do this. Trust.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's zoom back a little bit. Let's find where we're fighting. Okay, so we're backing off. Okay. Let's say we're fighting backup point here. Where do you fight? Let's actually wait till we get a second to reset ourselves. Yeah, so like right here. So you disengage here. Okay, now what?
Definitely top right.
Yep, top right. Yep. That's an easier one. Okay. Let's go to second point. I assume we go to second point. Yep. Okay, let's do this. Okay, this is a good opportunity here. So, with where this fight is breaking out now, what do you got?
I could hug the right for sure because I have a good amount of view right there, and they can't hit me when I'm on my way down. Or I could still be on the left and go a little bit farther back in that staircase, maybe.
Yep. Could also just do turret too, right?
Stand to turret, yeah.
You got choices. Just not here. Okay. Let's do... Okay, retaking space here. This is a good one. How do you retake space here?
Well, I see my Genji towards the right, but maybe like left is more favorable for me for sure.
So updraft to here, apply pressure from here. This can work. Give me another one.
My Genji's below. He's like behind, yeah.
Give me another one.
There is potentially staying where I am, using the gate, maybe.
Okay.
It's a bit farther back, but it does require me to wait for them to walk forward a little bit more.
Right, right. Well, like for example, like with what you've seen here, where should your next dash take you, preferably?
Forward. I don't know if it would get me there, but
even better. Right, guaranteed.
Staircase.
Then from here, if it's uncontested, well then you just walk, right? And you just hover over their heads. So when the angle's free, take it. And then if you choose to go left, commit left, do the exact same thing from here instead. You see what I'm saying? I'm noticing a little bit of... I think part of it's just like the panic, the way this game's going right now, but just stay in your lane, literally, right? Commit to an angle, wrap on that angle if that's free. Because, like, look at where you're at right now. We're not really on an angle at all right now. We're just kind of standing here.
Yeah.
And certainly not an
I was
angle
like panicking because I'm watching this Tracer like walk all over my supports, and I was
right.
trying to get her off them.
Yeah, but you're not in a position to do so. You're actually very vulnerable to Tracer where you're at right now. So it's like you're even more of a problem.
That's what I remember thinking. That I'm like, oh, I'm kind of just standing here.
Yeah, you've just been dead meat for basically this entire defense. Okay, where are we fighting? Okay, we're fighting back. Here's another thinking exercise. You are positioned like a sniper now, but that's not where our team is holding, nor is it to your strengths. So can you find the Freya angle here? This one's trickier.
There is the middle, but if I'm playing more towards where my team is playing, could definitely be just towards the bottom left.
Sure, like here. Sure.
But my honor can't see me there, so maybe. But if I push up too far, then I'm right next to the soldier.
Think like a Pharah. Think like a Pharah. This is a tricky one. By far, I mean vertical cover, right?
Potentially the gate then above Anna.
That's not much of an angle, right?
Yeah.
This is gonna be crazy, but trust me on this one. Updraft, hold here.
Okay.
You can actually sit on this pipe, I believe.
You can?
Pretty sure. If you can't, then you would sit here, and you'd wait. You'd wait for them to shoot the Tracer first off, because she's standing in open space, and then Doom's End, updraft, dash, Merry Christmas. This is Freya right here. This is Freya angle, right? It's open sightline. It's verticality. There's cover. You kind of see what I'm saying? Like, this is, again, like, how many times have you ever been here or thought about this ever in your entire life, right? But this is kind of what you're missing. Like, even here, I wouldn't hesitate to push this. Nice. Nice shot. Should be fine. Yeah, good stuff. Let's keep going. Do you guys hold here?
I think so. Yeah, they only have 30 seconds left.
Okay. Let's take some notes. Couple of things. Verticality when the map provides it to you. That kind of goes without saying, right? Crucial thing. Right. But the crucial thing is when the map doesn't give you verticality, create your own, essentially. Vertical cover, specifically around updraft, and doing so at the right time. Now you're going to need to practice that, not trolling with how you're positioning. But that's crucial to how you win duels. Don't take... basically, the TLDR is don't take ego duels. It's essentially what we're looking for. Like, have a positional advantage through your verticality to be able to win duels through splash damage and crosshair positional advantage. Bolt spam. Work at it. Whether it's with the reverse key button input or not. Just using the input from either... Maybe even screwing up your own aim because you're bolt spamming. Doesn't matter. Use it. When I say bolt spam, I don't mean literally bam, 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 bam necessarily, but bolt, dash, bolt, dash. You might need to slow it down when you start to focus on your aim. Has to be done.
I guess I feel like that kind of attests. So maybe she is overtuned right now because I feel like these things I feel like they're like fundamental to her that I haven't grasped yet, but I still have like a 60% win rate with her. So that probably maybe does emphasize how overtuned she is right now, I guess.
Partly, it's also that these are the things that are demanded for you to get to the next level, right? In the same way that do you need to be a master of tracers, blink melee, blink pulse, 180 blink, blink back and forth? No, you don't have to, but it's where the ceiling of the character is.
Yeah.
Because you're taking angles, and your aim is pretty good, and you're hitting your ultimates, right? That's all. Like, if you did that with any character, you do well, right? But you are right. Like that, if you're able to squeeze the ceiling out of her, you're going to do really well. But okay, any questions?
I don't think so. I think